What's up, everyone? I'm here at Toledo Bend. Finally made it here for the Bassmaster Open practice. I'm gonna get 4 days. I missed today just because I needed a break from Darnell and spend some time with my kids. It's Easter Sunday, so yeah, I still miss kind of Easter Sunday. But I was out here fishing, and it's kind of a long day, to be honest with you. Toledo Bend's, you know how when you get so excited to come to a lake, and I haven't had a big tournament here in years, actually. Toledo Bend was the lake where I got my first ever big win. I won a Toyota Series here. I led all 3 days. I'll never forget it. And so this place is special to me. Like, I really like this place, especially this time of year. I was like super excited. And then we got some rain, right? We got some rain, we got some things, and the lake has come up. It's dirty. It's fishing kind of weird. I mean, I kind of had a decent day today. I kind of caught some big ones, but it's so random. I really don't know what to think about it. Now, why I'm making this video. I made a video the other day about why pros beat locals, right? I guess I should have said at times, because some people totally missed the point of that. But today I felt like not a local, right? I felt like a guy going to a lake, fishing it for the first time. And the reason I did that was I took my own advice. I literally went almost everywhere I went today. Not everywhere, but almost everywhere. I'd say like 80% of the places I went today, I'd never been before. I mean, this lake is giant, guys. It's like, 187,000 acres. I mean, it's huge. So there's just places I've never been, and I decided to go to those places. And I caught some fish. I caught some big ones in some of those places. I also learned where not to go, and I will never go back to some of those places, right? But I took my own advice, and I tried to look at it from a different perspective of going, hey, since I don't know anything about some of these places, that's what I did. I just looked at it. And what was great about it is because the water had come up. It's not the same. It's dirty in places. I had gone to some places I knew, and it really wasn't good. So that's when I decided, hey, let's just go to all new places. Now, while I was out there, I did a lot of idling. In fact, I already made the video and my camera messed up, so I'm redoing it. But I did a whole bunch of idling because, like I said, Toledo Bend's got so many stumps, and I don't really know some of these places where I can run and where I can't. So tons of idling, which means tons of thinking. And I thought about that video, and the problem I had with the video, I didn't have a problem with the video. It's the comments, right? Because it kind of went viral. So you get a lot of comments from guys that aren't my regular subscribers or whatever. Got a lot of guys that became subscribers because of the video. But then you had this other group. You have this other group, and I don't know where to categorize them, because they're going to start coming up more and more and more. And the overwhelming majority of comments from that video were about electronics. And we can talk around that, but we know what electronics means. It means live scope. That's what they're saying. They're saying that pros are beating locals because of electronics and live scope and technology. And I don't think that that's true. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying that that's not everything. And I can give you quite a few examples. First of all, the whole live scope thing, a lot of people are commenting on it, but they really don't understand it, right? They really don't understand what's really going on with it. And what they're seeing is a small minority of people using it, mainly in the elites or MLF. And some of these people are winning on it, right? What it's not showing are all the guys that aren't winning on it and are doing horrible with it. And it just so happens that one guy figures it out and catches them, right? And he might even win the tournament using it. But I'd say a lot of these tournaments, the majority of guys aren't using it at times. So they just instantly just follow along with what everyone else says and says, must be electronics, it has to be. And I'm just telling you from experience that that's not the case. And the video and the point of the video went right over their heads. It went right over their heads because the video was to make you think and look at your lake in a different view and try to like expand your horizons about a lake and about what you think that lake is, and try not to get caught up in a rut of fishing the same old water all the time, because that's what happened. So I just got back from Darnell because I even had a comment going, hey man, it's funny you made that video and you just got beat by a local. Well, you're right. I did get beat by a local. I got beat by one local because I came in second. But I beat all the other locals. And quite a few of us guys that came down there, there's a bunch of guys that aren't from Darnell, came down there and beat those locals. We didn't know what we were doing in the sense of, we didn't have these spots or anything, preconceived notions. We just drove around and fished water until we found water that we liked and that we caught fish in. We used the things that we normally do. The maps, looking at lakes, water color, water temperature, where they're at in the spawn. I mean, that's what I did. And I tried to figure out where they're at, like where they're at in the spawn, not location wise. That's obviously a given, but like where they're at, how far along are they? Because I think, other than LiveScope, that's the second most misconstrued element there is fish spawning. Like most people don't really understand the process of how long that takes and the things that goes on. I hear it all the time. I've heard it. I bet you I've heard it 10 times this year from fishermen that are winning events, talking about, hey, I think the spawn's almost over, or hey, this is going on, and we're going, spawn almost over. It's like 30 or 40% complete at most. And I'll get into that as well. But yeah, they're just, the whole LiveScope comment in electronics to me is just an excuse. I'm not saying it doesn't have an impact, but I'm just telling you LiveScope is very, very misunderstood. And it's misunderstood because you're seeing such a small percentage of people using it and winning on it. And you're not seeing all the other guys not winning on it, not getting checks, doing horrible. Like I said, Darnell was one. None of us were using LiveScope. I know some guys that were using LiveScope, and they did really bad in the event, like really bad. And it's going to happen. I said it was going to happen. If you get so dependent on LiveScope, you're going to have horrible events. Because the thing with LiveScope is what you're seeing a lot of time, especially on certain lakes and local lakes, are guys are getting very good with LiveScope on those local lakes. But when they have to travel around, it's a whole different ball game. And it doesn't work all the time. And especially in the springtime, like you might be out there looking at some, but the majority of the fish are not out there. They're up on the banks. So you're fishing for very few fish out there. So there's a lot of drawbacks to it, right? And what happens is they get so dependent on it, they can't do anything else. I mean, there are guys so dependent on it, they just refuse to go up there and fish where 90% of the fish are. It's crazy. Hey, I'm not even mad about it. I'm like, heck yeah, stay out there. Give me more of the bank. Let me do my thing. And the thing with the spawning fish is, I've always said this, I hear this all the time, where guys go out there and they catch a particular fish, right? Maybe say they go out there shallow and don't catch anything, so they back off and start fishing these points and start catching fish off points in like 10 to 12 foot of water. And they instantly, I hear this all the time. I hear this so much. They're like, oh, fish are done spawning, man. Look, they're already out here on these points. And I'm going, well, no, you just figured out a pattern. And the same pattern exists sometimes when it's like, when you start catching like post spawners. Like I hear that all the time. Like a guy gets out there and figures out a swim jig bite, right? And he starts catching a bunch of post spawners. He's like, oh, the spawn's done. And I'm like, no, you just figured out a pattern that relates to post spawners. But the guy next to you is over there doing something else, Carolina rigging, catching pre-spawners, right? And he's over there going, hey, man, they hadn't even spawned yet. Like, I hear both sides of them. And then there's the guy on the bank going, hey, they're all on bets. So you have to be careful about just saying, oh, this is what's going on. I'm catching these fish. And so this is where we're at in the spawn. So I see all these misinterpretations of the spawn and even of live scope and in that whole video. And like I said, people were just making excuses without just going, hey, the video was to broaden your horizons, to open your mind up, to like maybe go try something different on your lake that you're so used to fishing. It's actually kind of fun when you do that. Like I had a blast on Toledo Bend. I learned so many new places that I can't wait to go back to. So I'm probably going to do some more videos about the live scope misconceptions and the spawning misconceptions. And I probably need to go more in depth about that because, man, that can lead you off track. It can. So right now, I'm going to go eat. I got 3 more days. I'm going to go try to figure out this little plan, this pattern of Toledo Bend. And while I'm out there, I'll probably make some more videos for y'all guys. All right. See y'all.